Okay, first big camping trip in the Jeep. Taking the Razor. Be sleeping in the back. It's squatted a little, but maybe not as bad as it looks right here. Headed to work for a little bit and then headed to Royal Blue in Tennessee to go riding for the weekend. So hopefully get there and back, no issues. We'll find out, I guess. So we're almost there. The Jeep's running good. It pulls pretty decent. It's running hot on the heels a little bit. Up there at the tick past 210, it will get up to there. It's not been over that. I don't know that the fan clutch is working right. The fan's on when you start it after you've had it shut off, but it doesn't come back on. So I don't think the fan clutch is working correctly. Didn't really show up until I was pulling this trailer. I pulled it a short distance before, but it was colder, and so I didn't notice anything. But anyway, other than that, uneventful. It's running good. No smoke after the valve seals, so we're almost to our destination. There's the creek. There's where we're camping. Norman's trying to cook. Muddy mess. Well, I'm almost home. I took the interstate home. Set the cruise on 65. It did good. It holds its speed pretty good, you know, down gears on the heels, but honestly, it's trying to dodge potholes right now, but it's really smooth and it runs good. So I can't complain. It still heating up a little on the interstate, but it's cooler out tonight than it was on the way down, so that helps some. Hopefully just needs a fan clutch. It didn't use any coolant on the way down and any oil at all, so I checked everything before I left. So I'm almost home now. Okay, so I've been on my little driving test here for I don't know, 20-25 minutes now with the Ranger on the trailer, just so it'll be a similar load to hauling my Razor. And you know, I just replaced the thermostat, the water pump, and the radiator. The thermostat I did first, and by itself didn't make any difference. Then I did the radiator and the water pump together. The water pump looked fine. I didn't think the radiator looked nasty looking inside it, but I couldn't find anything wrong with the water pump. All the fins were on it, nothing was eroded. It looked fine to me. And but basically, it's fixed. just, you know, been slowing down, accelerating a few times, and it would get hot really fast before. I've had the air blasting the whole time. There's the outside temperature right now. It's a good day to test it, 94 degrees. Like I said, I got the air going. I'm in here cool, not sweating. And I went down and made a loop and pulled a big hill basically from a stop. It's a big hill on this road. And I topped it in third gear about 55. I wasn't, you know, pushing it to go 70 or anything. The air conditioner really pulls some power out of this thing. It pulls better without the air on, but even with the air on, taking off and pulling that hill with, you know, moderate throttle, probably 2/3 throttle or something like that, most of it. Never got above 210. Alright, it's a Thursday and I'm headed into work for a little while, and then from there I'm headed to Del Barton, West Virginia to ride all weekend and camp out of the back of the Jeep. It's about a 400-mile round trip, so got a little driving to do. Luckily it's all pretty good road, so I'm gonna get going. Cruising on the Hal Rogers Parkway just out of London, Kentucky. Running good so far. Still got 2.5 hours to go probably. Several little rolling hills out this way, but pretty good road. It's good scenery. Gets a little bit boring maybe after a while, but it is pretty. Trying not to push it too hard, but it pulls the hills pretty good, especially if you go down to third. Temperature's running perfect. People that work coal out this way have helped build this country. The government's kind of shut them down, but pretty cool sticker. stopped and got gas. I'm close to Pikeville, and calculated 12.47 miles per gallon by hand. So I don't think that's too bad. There's a lot of little hills out this way, and you know, I don't really think the 6-cylinder gets any better mileage than these things, honestly. I have been running without the air for the most part, and I think that helps the fuel mileage on this quite a bit, because the air really seems to, you know, hurt the power. I don't know what it is. It just feels like it pulls it down a lot. So I'm sure it hurts the fuel mileage also. But anyway, it's running great. No issues at all. Running cool still, or you know, normal. And we've got less than an hour to go, so cruising on.
At the next stop sign, turn right.
Hello, West Virginia.
At the stop sign, turn right onto Vincent Street, then turn right onto LT Alex Bucci Road.
Alright, 200 miles pulling the Razor, no issues. Hopefully I can do the same going home. We're going to have hopefully a good weekend riding. This is my sleeping setup. Got a, I think that's a 2-inch foam mattress pad, doubled over. I've got a moving blanket under it and over it, just to keep me off the actual foam. Got my pillow, and I take the seat bottom out on both sides and then scoot that passenger seat all the way forward. I'm about 6'3" or 4", and I can lay all the way out in here. It's actually fairly comfortable. Just the temperature's the only thing you got to worry about for me. I don't sleep well hot, so hopefully it's cooler tonight. And then I haven't really organized that. I just threw that out of the way, but I've got a little fan, and I've got some window covers that go on the sides that are screened so I can put the windows down. So this is my home for the weekend. My buddies are camping out over there, and we got some people in these little cabins here. 11% grade. Headed home. Got some switchbacks in it. Second gear with the torque converter locked up. Really the worst section of the whole drive. Can't believe this is a 55-mile-an-hour speed limit. Of course, I guess we're out of the twisty part, but back in Kentucky. So I would normally be coming home later at night after our ride on Saturday. This is the second day. It's about noon. But a few of us had some issues. I got some kind of fuel pump problem, I think, with the Razor. I made it back to the camp yesterday, no real issues, but I didn't really want to chance it today. We thought about going out on a shorter ride, but some of the other guys were having some problems as well. So just decided to make it an easy day and hang out at camp a little bit this morning and talk to everybody, and then head out a little early instead of leaving out at 5 o'clock this evening or whenever we normally would have made it out. So we're back in Kentucky, headed toward Pikeville, going up a pretty good little hill right here. It's pulling about 50 mile an hour in third gear. It's not too bad. You can drop it to second about any time you want and gain some speed, but this is a pretty comfortable pace. I'm not in a hurry. So it doesn't do too bad for a small V8. I like the transmission in this Jeep. You can lock out overdrive and it'll lock the torque converter up in third and keep a lot of heat out of the transmission if you want. It doesn't pull quite as well like that as it does with the torque converter unlocked, letting it rev a little more. But that's fine for a lot of stuff. I mean, we just went up a pretty good little hill. You can see we're going back down it. I don't know what the grade is, but for not pushing it, it does fine. If you got a big long hill, you eventually kind of need to go to second, but not too big a deal. Anyway, cruising home. Alright, I'm back in Mount Vernon. Got off of Hal Rogers and made my little run down 75, so I'm 40 minutes from the house now, probably, not too far. I filled up with gas as I got off the exit there. I was getting pretty low, and I got 13.3, so I think that's pretty respectable, I feel like, for a 25-year-old vehicle. Pulling a little weight. I don't know what the Razor weighs. I don't know, just I would guess around 1800 with all the stuff I have in it. It's just a very rough guess. And then I'm not sure about the trailer either, but I'd say somewhere around 3,000 pounds or maybe less for all of it. But anyway, I think that's pretty fair for this little 4.7. Alright, been home for a little while now, but made it home no trouble at all. Getting a pretty good snowstorm in Kentucky. So we got the Jeep out. Going to see my sister and nephew. My wife's with me. The roads are pretty bad. Barely got you. Supposed to get quite a bit more of it, maybe some ice. So this thing's going pretty good. Still in two-wheel drive at the moment. heated seats on. Alright, y'all, I appreciate y'all following along with this $1,000 Jeep series. I'll put a little picture up here of an itemized list of things that I bought for this, all the parts and things that I ended up putting on it. I don't think I missed much, if I missed anything. The total came in just under $1,900, I think. And so I'd say you can kind of round that up to around $2,000 just for miscellaneous little things. So I've got $2,000 total pretty much in this Jeep. That includes the purchase price, and I took it on a 8-hour round trip pulling the RZR, and taking one camping trip with my wife, and 2 pulling the RZR. So that's, you know, I've had this thing a little less than a year now, and I plan to use it some more for the same thing. It's been really nice to be able to pull the RZR and then sleep in the back of this thing. It's a lot easier to do that than try to get a cabin somewhere, and I never stay more than 2 nights, so it's really been pretty good. Are there better vehicles for the money? I don't know, maybe, but you don't get much for $2,000. And I like this thing pretty good, you know, now that I've driven it some. I think it had around 202,000 on it when I bought it. You can see I've got almost 206 on it. I put somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 on it. I can't remember the exact mileage when I bought it, but I do have it wrote down. And if you go back to my original video, you can also see there. But this is not something you would want to buy and take to a shop and have fix, you know, have them fix everything that I fixed on this. So don't get the delusion that it's a good idea to do that if you can't fix it yourself, or at least most of it. You quickly get into where you can just buy one in better shape. But honestly, a lot of the things I fixed are things that even paying $2,500 or $3,000 for a 20-year-old vehicle like this, you're gonna have you're gonna have a lot of those expenses anyway, really. Not all of them, but it's a good chance you're going to have some things to work through if you buy a 25-year-old vehicle. So just be prepared for that if you're buying something like this. But I have to say, I mean, it's just been kind of fun having this. You know, me and the wife took it down to the creek one night back in the summer and had supper down there. We got a pizza and took it down there. Just fun, you know. We drove around the creek a little bit. Don't really worry too much about getting it dirty or dinging it up a little bit. It's not a big deal, and the body actually looks pretty good on it. So, you know, I don't want to ding it up, but it wouldn't be too bad. Nothing like taking a new vehicle out, in my opinion. I mean, I think this is a lot more affordable, something you're not so worried about. All these new SUVs that would be similar to this thing are $40,000, so you know, really, what is a couple $1,000? Maybe 3 new vehicle payments. So I have no complaints. Let me know in the comments what y'all think. Was it worth the money? Do you like the Jeep? Do you not like the Jeep? What would you have bought? You know, I think a Tahoe would probably, originally a Tahoe probably would have been my first choice. I don't really regret too much not getting a Tahoe now. I mean, I've been pretty satisfied with this for what I wanted to do. So, you know, but I do think the Tahoe is a hard vehicle to beat, especially early 2000s model with the 5.3 or something without the AFM and DOD and all that stuff. But anyway, I appreciate y'all watching. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and I'll catch you with the next project.